Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time and being here in the podcast. Wave Custom.
Yeah, thanks for
For
having me.
now, for anybody who don't know or who has not been paying attention to social media, but it seems that you guys are really active on Instagram. At least that's how you show up in my radar. Wave Custom is a custom in-ear monitor manufacturer based in South Carolina. Can you talk about your in-ear monitors?
Yeah, so Waves Custom, what we do is we create custom fit in-ear monitors and earphones using scanning from iPhones. So the iPhones have a Face ID camera that is a technology that we mount using the app that we use, and the user just scans their ears. And then we take those digital scans and we have a process that we developed and patented on how to take that and then create a digital mold and create a custom fit earpiece using that mold. So customers who order Waves, they simply download the app, scan their ears with their phone, and then we take it from there. So there's no trips to the audiologist required, which is, a big time saver and money saver. And then, on top of that, we, with how we do things and how we're able to produce a product, we're able to do it so efficiently that our price points end up being pretty low compared to, what custom mold earphones traditionally have been. So you're kind of winning on both fronts. The founder of the company, Rick Hoke, he developed the technology. Wow. And it's something that, he figured out. And then, it took, about a year of development to get it to the point where we could launch the product to the marketplace. But when we did, it just kind of took off like wildfire.
That's crazy. Because I've been in the market for in-ear monitor for a minute, and the standard process, you go to an audiologist and you have to want like that one audiologist who knows what they're doing. Because there are plenty of them that they only do in-ear imprint for hearing aids, right, which I'm assuming is a different process that for monitors. So that's a cost already. And then the time to send the imprints or however that's called to whatever manufacturer you choose from. And if there's something wrong with the print, then you have to go again to the audiologist.
Right.
I'm guessing that with your app, there's unlimited takes that you can do, or if there's some inconsistency, you reach out to the customer again before doing the print.
Yeah, it's really streamlined like that, So if the customer for whatever reason doesn't do the scan right, we can just tell them, be like, hey, can you redo that right ear? And they just knock it out real quick. With the way we have it set up, it's really not hard to do. So most of the time it's not an issue with customers doing the scans. But yeah, it's super easy to take new scans or just do it to begin with. And then, we can keep that data on file as well if they're like a repeat customer. So yeah, it streamlines the whole thing. And I think that's been a big driver for us early on, especially just the fact that people don't have to go to the doctor, make an appointment and go somewhere outside of their house. They can just do it from home, from their phone. So
totally. And here in New York, at least in New York City, it's about $80 just to get the mold done.
Yeah.
Not including the price of the monitor itself. Which is
it's definitely an added expense. So you look at a lot of competitors in the space who do custom fit. You're looking at like $600 or $700, but then you got to also tack on that trip to the audiologist. And so,
totally.
The price just keeps going up.
So how long the company has been out?
We launched we went to market at the end of April of 2020. Now,
so it hasn't been a year already.
Right. It's been about
1 year.
Wow. It's been about 1 year. Yeah.
That's wild.
Obviously there was work going on behind the scenes before that. But when we went to market was April of 2020. And so the first product that we went to market with was actually not an in-ear monitor. It was just a universal meant for any application. And the current model of Waves is also meant for every application. So like we have people buying them for using at the gym or just everyday uses. But what we found out when we first launched in April is we were having so many musicians reach out to us saying, hey, are these for use on stage? Are these for use on stage? Because of the technology, it just drew them into the product and the price point too, of course. And so we realized really quick that, hey, this technology and this product is something that the musician community is really itching for. And we had thought about the musician community as well. It wasn't, completely brand new concept to us to go into the in-ear market, but it became very clear very quickly that that's a market that we could really do well in. And so a couple months later, probably June of 2020, we made a couple tweaks to the product to really maximize its performance in the live music setting. And then we went, pretty much, balls to the walls in the in-ear community, and it just it took off like wildfire. And I mean that. Like, I remember when we first we had a video, a big YouTuber did a review on us, and he was a musician. His channel was all about music gear and live music gear, and so he did a review on us, and it was kind of like from that moment on, just the orders just kept coming and coming and coming, and we were just, we've been slammed ever since, to be honest.
Nice. Congratulations. It requires a lot of, yeah, like you said, balls to put out a product, especially in a market that is kind of niche, right? You have this particular competitors that they have an established name, and to come in and start taking that share market. But on top of that, to do it in the middle of a pandemic,
Right.
that's very brave. So mad props to you guys, for real.
Thank you. Yeah, the week in April, and hopefully I'm remembering this timeline right, but I remember it pretty distinctly. The week in April that we had set to like make the website go live and like post on social media and do all the stuff, that's the week that, at least in South Carolina, that everything got shut down from COVID. So we were like, do we still launch? Like, what do we do? And, with our product being 100% online, and at that time it was just me and Rick, we're like, let's just proceed and see what happens, So we just launched it and continued business as usual, and it ended up working out. So.
Wow, what a story. That's a crazy story. So you make the product in South Carolina. It's all made in the USA.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
So here's one thing that I wasn't 100% clear, and maybe you can clarify. The imprint, right? What you do with your cell phone is not all the way through, right? It's pretty much like the open cavity, and then at the very end, you still have the choice to use the different rubber tips or foam tips, right?
Correct.
Do you notice an advantage to that kind of finishing?
Yeah. So what we've developed, in addition to the scanning process and the fitting process, is that hybrid design you just described, right? So waves are custom fit to the outer ear, and in the inner ear portion, we actually use a universal tip. And so customers who get waves, they get a handful of different styles of tips. They get like a memory foam tip. They get a couple different sizes of silicone tips, and they also get a very special tip that's it's a heat molding material. So it actually molds to the shape of your inner ear from your body heat. And so you get all these different options, and then the user just chooses whatever's most comfortable and seals the best for them. Now,
Sweet.
what we found is a lot of people like this hybrid style because the ear canal with traditional full molds, a lot of people have problems with that piece that goes into the ear canal, especially singers who move their jaw a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go to the audiologist, if you're doing like a traditional fitting, a lot of times they'll have you open your jaw and they'll put like a piece of like plastic in your jaw.
Right, to expand the ear canal.
Exactly. But the problem is when you sing and when you move your mouth and that ear canal is changing size, right? And so the comfort of the universal tip mixed with the seal in the outer ear has been a combo that just kind of clicked for us, and it's worked really well with the customers. So it's something a little different from the status quo for sure. And some people, are not taken back by it, but it's definitely something that hasn't been done before. And so, some people it catches their eye, but we've found people to love it so far.
Yeah, I have to say that I've been somewhat, I don't want to say fearful, but like one piece of doubt that I have always I've been in the edge of getting custom mold multiple times, right? For whatever reasons. And that's one part that makes me hesitant. And it's like that very end because I'm having a solid piece of plastic at the end of the ear.
Mhm.
Um, and there's no way back, right? I'm a fan of the foam tips. I'm very intrigued with those body heat one that mold, but the foam tips, they tend to do the trick, right? When they expand and they give you that nice seal, and it, to me, they're very comfortable. Um, so when I saw your product, I was like, huh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like I'm surprised that no one had ever taken that route.
Yeah, yeah, and it's something that, when we were developing the process or the product, it's something that just kind of naturally kind of took place. We're like, what if we, had the stem be universal and everything else is custom, and it just worked, and the fit was so, it felt so consistent, right? There's even like a logical aspect of it. Like when you grow up, they always say don't put like hard objects in
Uh
your
huh.
ear,
Uh huh.
right? And then suddenly when you're getting in your monitors, you're putting these like hard tubes into your ear canal. It doesn't make sense, right? So there's almost like a logical aspect where it's like the part that goes into the ear canal where the most sensitive, parts of your ear
Hmm.
are, let's keep that safe. Let's take no risk with that, and then we'll fill the outer ear with the custom fit to create that hard seal, and it's the perfect combo.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. I mean, that's why I want to talk with you. I do this podcast, this interview, because I like learning from people that I'm very intrigued. And your product, when I came across that, I was like, I need to learn more about this because there's something that is very intriguing, and the technology behind it is superb. I'm into 3D printing. That's like my main toy. So I'm assuming that you use some sort of 3D printer to do the shells.
Yeah, yeah. So the shells are 3D printed using resin printers,
Okay.
and then we take that shell and we install the tech and do all the other secret stuff that we do, and we make the finished product from there. But it all starts with that printer.
Okay, I'm gonna get me one of those Elagoos or resin 3D printers to play. I
Well,
have
those
my
things are great. They print such a high detail,
yeah.
and they're
It took
not
me a
too
long
expensive.
time. I had a what is this right there? An Ender 5. And it took me weeks to dial that thing. So it printed somewhat nicely. And I've been checking out those resin printers. Um, they're super cool. So I guess I'm not gonna get the secret sauce from you guys. Okay, get it.
So you have an FDM printer?
I have a PLA.
Oh, nice.
A PLA. Yeah, it's my boy toy. It's I spent a lot of time with that during COVID. Because we were locked down. I'm gonna burn a lot of plastic and do nonsense stuff. It's good. You get to learn a lot about designing, which is cool. Do you have a music background, or anyone in the company has a music background?
Yeah, so I play music professionally for almost 4 years. So from 2000, pretty much the end of 2016 till 2000, the end of 2019, I played touring full time. My group's called Brother Oliver,
Okay,
and it's a band with my brother Steven, and who actually works for Waves as well.
sweet.
Um, and so my background's heavily in music. We did a bunch of cool stuff. Um, we played with the Steve Miller Band. We won a few awards, and really had a nice run. And then in 2020, um, you know, I've always been passionate about business as well as music, and so I've always had some business ventures and some small companies that I've run. And Rick, who started the Waves, he invented the product and the technology. He We linked up, and he made an offer for me to come on as a partner to help further develop the brand, and help launch it to market. And that was at the start of 2020. And so I took that offer, and I believed in the product. When we first started meeting, he had all the he showed me his vision for it and what he had in mind. I thought, this is going to be huge. I think this is a great idea. I think the technology is incredible. And I always believed in it from the first time he showed it to me. And so it was just a no-brainer for me to come on board and try and make this thing happen. And so at that point, I shifted, obviously, from playing full time to more of a part time role with my music, which was something that ended up being good timing with COVID, because I wouldn't
Right.
have been able to tour much anyways in 2020. But it was also a move that we were looking to make, because we had been on the road for 3 years. You start to burn out, and
Yep. Yep.
it's a lot just on your mind and on your body. So like we were looking to kind of take a back seat anyways, just to kind of rest our souls a little bit. And then me and Rick linked up almost kind of at a divine time. So everything has this kind of overarching I don't know, destiny to it, where just the timing of everything worked out. And it's just been a wild ride.
And in 10, 15 years time, and you guys look back and you are doing a presentation at NAM, that's another bummer, right? There was no NAM this year for you guys to go and present the product. I had planned going to Summer NAM last summer. I was very excited going to Nashville because I had never been to Nashville, and COVID, completely killed it. But I digress. 10, 15 years from now, you guys talk about the company saying, yeah, 2020, you remember that, and all the planets align, and here we are. I don't know. What a such cool story, man. Sounds awesome.
It's fun to look back on. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like even today, we were talking about, man, like I can't believe, like we were going through old photos of like the first product, like when, before we even went to market, just kind of like the rough version of the original product, and how it progresses over time. And just, when we first launched, it's fun to build something from the ground up, because you can look back and it really becomes like a child almost, where you kind of nurture and raise it. And we're proud of it. We're super busy right now, and we couldn't be more grateful.
Totally. And you know what is fun? Anybody who has not done this, I'm going to put the Wave social media, Instagram. You have any other social media, also other social media aside of Instagram?
For Waves?
Yeah.
We have a Facebook page. Really, mainly we use Instagram, Facebook, and then, we of course have our website. We have a Twitter, but we don't really use it a whole lot. So we should probably start tweeting a little bit more. But we're on Twitter too.
So what I wanted to say is I'm going to drop those links down in the description so everybody can go and build your own waves, because the kind of finishes that they're available, they're super cool. I was tweaking with what is it? A clear casing with the walnut veneer.
I like that? Yeah, the wood grain ones.
Those veneers, they're sexy. Or the solid red or yellow, like one of those, like the whole casing one color. They look super nice.
Oh yeah, like the solid blue ones. Yeah, I have my personal sets of the solid blue ones.
Nice. Yeah, they pop.
Yeah, they're nice.
So I noticed that not long ago you guys expanded to a triple driver.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're talking to a drummer comes to you and they say, I need me a new set of in-ear monitors, I never done this before, how would you guide that drummer to choose the right pair of monitors?
That's a great question. Some of it, to be honest, is their budget, right? Because our triple driver model is easily the best sounding set of drivers that we have right now. But they are, the priciest, right? So they're about, I think they're $299, like before shipping and stuff. But our dual driver set, that one is $149. Either of those options are going to be fine for a drummer. The triple driver model is going to sound better. They're going to get a little bit bigger sound frequency response, a little bit bigger sound picture with them. The lows will be a little lower, and the highs are a little cleaner. But we've got a bunch of drummers that use the dual drivers too, So it's really a matter of what your budget is looking like. If you can go and get the triples, then obviously I'd recommend that, because it's just, they sound that much better. But the dual drivers are killing it for a lot of people too. So
and just to give a comparison, I'm looking here at a different manufacturer, a single driver from a different manufacturer, it starts at $400, versus your triple driver that starts at triple driver is $300.
Right. $299.
two
Yeah.
ninety
Yeah.
nine.
Yeah.
So at a different manufacturer, for $400, you get just one driver. Now, it's not that more drivers equal better sound,
Right.
but it definitely gives you a big advantage and a bigger spectrum of sound when you're playing. A triple driver, we're talking about $600.
Yeah. We're trying to break that status quo,
Totally.
Yeah, the price point is pretty dramatic with Waves.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm using a generic brand triple drivers, um, and the sound spectrum that you get is a big difference. I'm guessing that once you have that seal with the custom piece, the experience must be like 100% better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you get that full seal, it definitely changes the response of what you're hearing because it's so isolated. The driver game is such a funny game because there's so much. I mean, audio in general has so much preference involved, right?
Right.
Like some headphones, like super high end headphones, like sometimes I feel like they get so clear, like the response is so good
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like too good, where the highs are too clean and it's almost like too much. I personally like dual drivers, like for the most part. Like I do like the triple drivers. I have obviously a set of duals and triples, um, and I like how deep the triples are. But there's something about the duals where they're so flat, it's so accurate, right? Because
Yes.
I'm a mixing engineer as well. Like I've always produced like all our records for Brother Oliver, and so I've spent 10 years mixing and mastering and doing all that kind of stuff. So for me, I love a flat response. I love something that's very representative of how something's going to sound in many different environments, right? And so sometimes if a set of headphones is so clean that it almost can be distracting, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I agree. It's like my favorite bass drum microphone is the one that I hate the most, and it's because it comes so colored. Right, I'm talking the D112, the Audix D112, fantastic bass drum microphone. Take it out of the box, pop it. It's gonna sound like a kick, but it comes color, right? It comes with some pre-existing EQ that is not representative of what the actual drum sounds like.
right,
And I feel that sometimes headphones does that.
right,
Not like the Beats, right? Those are my go-to when I'm on the train or something like that, but
right.
they're not representative to the music because they're so hype in certain frequencies.
Exactly. So I really like gravitate to things that are flat. I like a nice strong low end too, but like if it's flat, then I love that. And that's one of the things with the Waves dual dynamic drivers, which is been our most popular piece. Um, that's one of the things that gets praised so much about it is how flat that response is. But if you really want like the really hear like all the details in your sub and all the crystal details of the high end, then like the triple drivers are going to get that done for you. Like you can definitely hear the difference in clarity between the duals and the triples, but it's just a matter at that point of what you prefer and what your budget allows.
Sweet. And 199 for the doubles for the dual driver and 399 for the triple driver.
Mm-hmm.
199 and 299.
Yep.
Sweet.
199 and 299. Yep.
Awesome. And then to wrap this around, and thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. You are able to attach certain accessories to your waves other than the standard cord.
Yeah. So the waves come with when you order them, you automatically get the 1/8-inch cable, like the aux standard cable.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have the option to get Bluetooth attachment for them. So we carry two different kinds. One goes behind your neck, and so it connects to the waves and kind of goes around your neck.
Just like the you can leave dangling when you're not using them.
Correct. And then the other kind is it's called True Wireless, and it tucks behind your ear, and we carry those as well. And so those ones just go right behind your ear. There's no cable going behind your neck, and they're real comfortable and kind of discreet. So it has that it's true wireless.
So we're talking about custom ear pods to say it in a way.
Exactly. So people who get these, sometimes they want to use them, when they're riding their bike or when they're, doing chores around the house, just everyday uses. Um, then they'll get the Bluetooth attachment for that, and they work really well, especially like for taking phone calls and stuff. The
Mhm.
the, the TRNs work great for that. Both the Bluetooth attachments work well for taking calls and stuff. So, and they're all interchangeable. So they just pop right off the bud, so you can switch them out.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean that when you're purchasing headphones, at the end of the day, replacing the cable should be a given at this day in time. I still don't know why there are companies that the case itself is not detachable.
Right,
It's like
right.
a almost feels like a scam or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that, just like you said, they keep the cable permanently fixed. So it's like I mean, I guess you could always like repair the cable, but like most people don't know how to do that. And it
Or
takes
the time or the energy.
right, right.
Awesome. Um, Once again, Andrew, thank you for your time. We're gonna drop all the links of Wave Custom down below. Todo el corillo, chequense a Wave below. En serio, tremendo audífono. Andrew, thank you for everything, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Cool.